You can, yes.
We're live, Mr. Chairman.
We're early, aren't we?
We're a
No.
minute early, so.
That's a rarity. Let's close off. 15 seconds.
Okay. Call the meeting order at 11. Please stand and join us for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Holly, please call the roll.
Trustee Canetti.
Present.
Trustee Hillier.
Present.
Lennox.
Present.
Fiscal Officer Patriot.
Present.
Okay. So, Matt, do I get a motion here to close
The work session?
public hearing? Are we closing the public hearing, right? If we're going to close the public hearing,
Well, you're
we already did.
technically reopening the. What did we do after the last meeting? Did we?
we
close
just tabled it again.
it? Then, yeah, like take it off the table.
Okay, so we're going to reopen it.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, if there's any other comments from the public, then at that point you can close
If
it.
we've already done that multiple times, we don't have to.
Okay.
We're
Yeah, then you're good. Then all you have
Yes.
to do is entertain a motion to close it.
okay. So I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing for zoning case 2023-0001-ZC proposed map amendment that proposes to amend the FPUD zoning of 11 parcels, which consists approximately of 378 acres of land to be developed into a mixed density residential development at 436 Casement Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing is closed at 11:02. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the July 18, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Summary of the work session, please.
We had guests from Kenez Builders today to discuss development along Bacon Road. We had executive session in accordance with Ohio Revised Code to discuss the acquisition of property for public use and to discuss the appointment and employment composition of the fire department. For the administration side, discussed the pavilion, the option of pavilion rentals or reservations, which we will not be doing at this time. Field usage, Haddon Park, a proposal to develop Haddon Park at the playground. We've moved the September 19th meeting to the 24th, October 17th meeting to the 24th. We discussed the issue of a rooster roaming in the Coventry area that is now being taken care of. The fire chief discussed his movement within the fire department, hiring a couple of part-timers while we still have openings available. Additional apparatus, including a fire engine that needs to be purchased in the future, a BWC grant for motorized stair chairs, moving forward with Lexipol, and some other items, including the open houses that have been attended. The service director requested additional funding to repair/replace items in his department, as well as the asphalt paving concerns that we've had. And the zoning department discussed the property maintenance update and the TIF moving forward.
Okay, thank you. Any old business from the floor?
My name is Mary Ellen Abel. I live at 50 Barley Drive. And I'm sorry I missed a couple of the last meetings, but I take this with a grain of salt. There was a mention that to forego the purchase of a park within this new development. And my suggestion is it would probably be cheaper to invest in it now than it would be after the development's completed, because property values will rise. And I would take a step forward to do that now as opposed to putting it off somewhere down the line. And
Question. Can I seek clarification on your comment? So what, can you just restate your comment again, please?
for the purchase of the park in the new casement development.
Okay.
We're not purchasing it.
Pardon it?
It's not a purchase.
Okay.
It's not a purchase.
Well, then
It-
that was misleading because I was going to say development of the park now is going to be cheaper at today's dollars than it is going to be 20 years from now when those dollars may be double.
It was more of a matter of transferring it to the township versus
Okay.
the ownership, not a purchasing of it or development of it. It was just a matter of transferring the ownership of the park.
So we 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
that,
yeah. There was no dollar amounts involved. It was just a matter of when or if the transfer of it would happen.
Well, that was not made clear in.
Did you watch the
article.
stream? Is that what you were doing?
Pardon?
Did you watch the streaming of the?
No, I
meeting?
did not. I read it in the newspaper.
Okay.
I'm still one of those old people that gets the newspaper.
Oh, because in the stream we discussed it at length, so it was very clear when our discussion.
Okay.
So
And okay, senior moment.
Sorry for interrupting. I'll get there too.
Well, I guess that's it for now, unless my memory returns.
Thank you.
any new business from? Oh,
I just remembered.
Okay.
Come back up.
Me again. Over the last several months, you've talked about negotiating with the builders. Have the negotiations come to fruition as far as what this development's going to look like? Has there been a plan layout, or is that still under development?
Mr. Chairman?
well, I mean, I think we've gotten to a point where the things that we were looking for, but the actual plan layout will happen in steps. Again, this is a preliminary development agreement. The finalized plan is not going to be laid out now. Each pod, eventually, when it comes time, then that development of that pod will be presented and approved. This is just a preliminary development agreement based on we agree and we are going to we are okay with the idea of developing the area, and then each individual pod and area of it will be on its own as it proceeds forward.
So there has not been a stormwater evaluation for the property done yet. There's not been a traffic study other than the.
That won't happen until this. That can't happen until this step happens.
Okay.
So
And one of the other things, actually, what would be nice to see in this development as far as retail is a grocery store, because your options for the east side of Painesville Township are go to the west end to Giant Eagle or go all the way to Madison. Yeah, there's IGA in between there, but it doesn't really offer a whole lot, and go all the way into Madison for a grocery store. We used to have a Giant Eagle used to be right on 20. And they said, oh, we're going to keep this open. We're going to keep this open. And 3 weeks after they opened the new store, they said, see ya.
Yeah, I think the housing stock at the time didn't support the Giant Eagle out on Route 20 where you're referring to. We don't have control. The developer doesn't necessarily have control of attracting a grocery store. The grocery store, those corporations need to decide that somewhere is a good location to locate. Now, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think everything we've put in the agreement so far, we would not have a Giant Eagle in this development. We
hope not a Jolly
right.
General either,
Right.
because they're all over the place.
right, that is
those are also types of things that we did not want to see there.
and so that's what we spent the last several months working through.
It's too
kind
bad
of
we couldn't
nitpicking
get
a lot
Trader
of things.
Joe's in there.
And
as
Trader
a
Joe's probably wouldn't be allowed either. We're
Yeah.
avoiding big box, big, huge footprint stores in this development. This will be a small scale. This is what everybody wanted, is keep this thing as small as possible. So everything that we've negotiated with the developer when they develop will keep these things smaller, non-huge national stores building this huge building within this development. So that's the thing that we heard along the way and that we've negotiated with the builder that hopefully
like in the olden days, the small corner store,
Correct.
IGA.
You may see a small pharmacy. You're not going to see a Giant Eagle or a Walgreens.
Right.
You might see somewhere you can get a prescription. I mean, so these big
small,
box
convenient types
things are
or-
not
yeah.
Well,
included.
in the olden days, IGA, I grew up in Euclid. We had an IGA there, and it was probably smaller than the local gas station. But you could get cold cuts, you could bread, milk, and
Mr.
everything
Chairman,
for
if I could
lunches.
just for a moment regarding Giant Eagle. Giant Eagle still owns the vacant parcel located next to where they were previously located.
Mm-hmm.
And we have since reached out, our office has since reached out to Giant Eagle, informing them of all of the new development that's
Fisher
taken
Foods.
place, such as Lake Erie Shores and McKinley Crossing, and we've mentioned the casement development. And their team got back to us, and they're currently doing a viability study to see if they could potentially be building in their vacant parcel that they've held on to for years. They expected the area to grow, which is why they held on to the vacant parcel. And so now they're doing a viability study to see if it's something that can be brought
Okay.
to the area. And in addition, this development is bringing in more sanitary capacity. And with that increased sanitary capacity, the trustees are rezoning all of the industrial parcels to B3 commercial in hopes to house these more intensive, larger retail uses that wouldn't otherwise be permitted directly in there, but would be located off of Northridge. So they are actively moving for economic development purposes.
Okay. I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
John Music, 45 Coventry Drive. I'm going to give you a couple opinions that I have here. First of all, I want to tell you that I support that levy that you put on for our sheriff and further to increase our law enforcement. It's sad that we have to do it. It's become no longer a want, it's a need. And I'm happy to support that. And I'm sure most of Painesville Township is, because if you look around the country and you see what is happening in our country, law enforcement, just like Chicago, they can't get anybody. And there's this other city that just lost their entire force. And Chicago is now going to hire illegal aliens for police officers. And I thought, you really know? I've been working on the border for over 20 years. I've been there. I've talked to Border Patrol, DEA, and all these people. Saw the tunnels underneath the fence and everything. People don't realize, and we had the drug cartel right here in Painesville. So, I mean, how do you know what an MS-13 gang member looks like, or a drug cartel member, to start hiring them as policemen? I have a problem with that. But anyhow, I just want to let you know I do support that levy because I support law enforcement 100%. And I want to thank Bill. I saw him and Tim Miller out there the other day. They're looking at Center Park Estates flooding. It's only been 17 years. It was your grandfather I first spoke on it to about, as in 2006, but that's okay. We won't mention that. But I want to thank Bill, and hopefully I'll talk to Tim. And like I said, now you got the federal government, the state government, the county government, the township, and then you got the property owners that are all involved in it. So
we're making steps, and we just
progress.
made another step closer. So
Well,
we just made another step closer. So we're getting there.
I hope that's correct, because what I'm hearing now, we're going back to some of the original proposals, but we won't get into that. So, but anyhow, I just wanted to tell you that, and then also I wanted to mention about Riverside, because I know the Riverside people, as we know, and I'm going to Riverside boarding meeting tomorrow night. And the thing about first commissioners at 10, Riverside at 7. So I totally would like to see everybody there. I really would. And as you know, and I've spoken that there at their meetings, I think that, and I went to Riverside all 12 years, graduated there, and I still live in the community. And I said, in my opinion, our schools have failed our students, the parents, and the taxpayers. As you know, just recently in 2021 and 2, the proficiency rating was 66.9. Back in my day, that was failure. And as you know, I contacted the Ohio State School Board years ago and talked to them. They said in a 10-year period, they changed 4 times how about proficiency ratings and testing scores and everything. And I said, that's great. I heard the NBA is going to lower the basket down to 4 feet so everybody can dunk. And didn't go over too well, but I don't care. But when you see proficiency ratings is so low in our county, it's very, very sad, in my opinion. And we the people of Painesville Township, we've got to do something about it. So, that's for another day. But anyhow, the thing about it is, I just wanted to tell you thank you and be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. And things are, and I know Chuck, you're retired now, so you'll find out that dollar this year isn't going to buy 15 years from now with the same stuff. You'll find that out. I am. But anyhow, I just want to know, just be good stewards of taxpayer dollars, if you would please. And I'd appreciate it. And continue doing what you do. So, and the last thing, it's like Patrick Henry's speech back in 1775, in Richmond, Virginia, St. John's Church. He said, at the time they were, England was sort of taking us over, and he said, "Isn't just it's just the job of the brave to do that. It's also the vigilant, the active, and the brave." So I totally encourage everybody to go to their meetings and speak up. You can, I believe in transparency, oversight, and accountability. And go there and give your opinions. Because if we don't, in my opinion, our country's going in the wrong direction. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Okay, hearing none. Lake County Sheriff's Office report.
Morning.
Hey.
You normally have Sergeant Falvey here for the meetings. He is attending a leadership school here held locally, hosted by Painesville City Police Department. It's the FBI LEDA, and they have 3 phases of leadership courses surrounding supervisory leadership, command level, and executive level. So that's where he's at this week. We'll see what I can do to fill his shoes here. So stats for Painesville Township for the month of July, we had 1,530 calls for service. We had 11 accidents, 5 of those involved injuries. We issued 27 citations and 159 traffic warnings. Parking violations, we addressed 21. There was a number of those that were handled over in the area of Tradewinds and Outrigger off of Bacon Road. There's some complaints received. It was more surrounding overnight parking and the parking ban. 10 adult arrests. I don't know, disorderly conduct must have been the flavor of the month. We had 5. It's a little higher than normal. Beyond that, we had a misdemeanor arrest for a male possessing drug paraphernalia, a misdemeanor domestic violence arrest of a male, a felony domestic violence arrest of a male. A female was arrested for OVI. We had a felony arrest of a female for theft of prescription drugs not belonging to her, and she got charged with possessing dangerous drugs. I'd like to make a quick point reference Lake County Fair regarding the security we provided there. No real issues. Went well. I think the only thing we had criminal-wise was just a minor fight among juveniles, and we issued disorderly conduct on them. Helps them reunite a couple families and get some people to EMS for heat exhaustion, but other than that, it went well. Proceeding with some of the stats here, we handled 41 alarm activations, conducted 92 business checks. These are instances where deputies check in with businesses during their open hours, and they also conduct security checks after hours. We conducted 74 crime prevention cards, handled an abuse case. We handled 44 animal complaints. I would like to point out one of these was a case we responded to at the Giant Eagle where a puppy, the dog was in a car beyond the time period of 20 minutes. Deputies found the dog in distress and were able to help it out and get it help. The owner is looking at charges, was charged by a complaint and summons for animal cruelty. So we just want to make that reminder, take care of those pets and keep an eye on them and obviously provide those adequate food and water in those circumstances and keep it cool for them in those cars. We have, and actually that day that happened, it was 92 degrees out. That was, I believe, the first week of July. It's a pretty hot day. We had a B&E to a vehicle. We had 3 B&Es to structures, 20 disturbances, 18 domestic violence cases. Of those cases, 2 were arrests and 4 cases were sent to the prosecutor for rulings. We had 9 scam reports, 92 suspicious circumstance calls, 5 trespass cases, 3 DOAs, 51 noise complaints. Actually, 33 of those were regarding fireworks. So from the 4th, I believe the 4th was midweek this year. So probably surrounded the weekend prior, leading up through the 4th. A little bit higher than the other townships, but most of those were unfounded or within the confines of the allotted times. That's what we found with those. 14 mental health cases, and that's pretty much what I have for some of those stats. We'd like to make a reminder as the schools start up here. We have some that are starting this week and some in the next week, midweek next week. Just please drive careful and have care around the buses and the bus stops. We did recently post a Facebook posting on the basically on the bus violations and when you should be stopping on the roadways for the buses. We do investigate all these bus violations received by the district, and I can tell you they are hefty fines and court costs that go with it. So, and normally there's irrefutable bus camera videos that go with it too. So, reminder for Family Fun Day at the Historical Society, Saturday, I believe August 26th. So LCSO will be there with a tent. We'll be having the some SWAT vehicles there, as well as the K9 we're hoping to have. Much like the National Night Out, these are great opportunities to engage with our communities and have a great time. I think we're losing hold of the summer here very quickly with what the weather's telling us. So it'll be a great time to get out on the weekend. Lastly, just an update on the Sheriff's Public Safety Training Center at the beginning of this month. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony for the completion of Phase 1. Truly a state-of-the-art facility. The indoor facility, which was part of the Phase 1, has a virtual simulator in there, mats for defensive tactics, a big open area. They have a screen for online learning, and remote learning. Pretty nice facility coming along in a great time frame, I believe. So they did do a groundbreaking the same day for Phase 2 of that, which is an adjacent building nearby, and it's going to incorporate a shoot house inside with movable walls. So again, the facility will lend its use to law enforcement across the county for many advanced training opportunities. So we're excited about that. I believe that's what I have.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And I think it's great that we have that new facility in our community here in the township.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Service Department.
So, in conjunction with the fire department, we will also be having an open house this Saturday from 11 to 3 at our service garage. So, we encourage the community to come out and take a look at our equipment, take a look at the garage. We're taking delivery Friday of a brand new dump truck, so that will also be on display. And then just a reminder that Labor Day weekend, the brush drop area will be open on Saturday, even though it's a holiday weekend.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fire Chief.
Just to piggyback what Bill said, Saturday's our last open house at Station 3, so I encourage everyone to come out, please. See the service garage, see the fire station, meet the firefighters, and get a free hot dog and a hamburger.
Can't beat that.
Thanks. Zoning.
The casement development team is present based on the ongoing negotiations that we had. We feel that we're at a final product, and they're here in preparation.
Okay. I think we have it down here once we get down the trustees and get to that decision here in a little bit. Anything else?
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you. Legal.
Just wanted to give you an update. I did just receive word from the county prosecutor's office about an administrative search warrant.
Yes.
It was sent over, I think,
Right.
5-6 weeks ago to the county prosecutor, who's no longer there anymore. Kind of fell by the wayside. So as soon as somebody heard about it, they worked on it immediately, got it prepared, so that now I am tentatively scheduled to go maybe Thursday, if I could get all parties there in front of the judge, next Thursday. Sorry.
To get it signed.
To get it signed and served.
Is that Muni or is that
Muni.
common? Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have some serious traction on this in the next 8 days, 9 days.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Administrator?
The only thing additional I'd like to add, and Captain already touched on this, is to remind everybody that our Family Fun Day is the last Saturday of this month from 11 to 4.
Okay. All right, fiscal officer.
I guess I'd like to ask or request a resolution to amend permanent appropriations for the service department by $415,000 due to the need of purchasing this truck and some unexpected paving charge. That would bring the total appropriation for the road department to $2,330,949.
Do I hear a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second
All those in favor?
discussion.
Oh, yeah.
So this is part of the conversation we had during the work session where we're not going to buy the new vehicle. That's the same
It's
thing,
a
right?
prior vehicle.
This is
we're
prior,
just
the one
buying.
we
The
got
one,
prior.
the one we just being.
He needs to, and this isn't new money. This is money within this service department shifting from one account to the other.
So
he
this
can,
isn't that truck we were talking about
this is
earlier.
one that he previously committed to. We purchased.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Thank you.
So the money's there. He just has to move it from one
Account to the
internal
next.
account to the
Gotcha.
other. Yes.
You had a motion in a second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve, per recommendation of the Painesville Township zoning resolution, the proposed amendments to the current FPUD zoning of 11 parcels, which consists of approximately 378 acres of land, proposed to be developed into a mixed-density, mixed-use development as described and agreed to in the development agreement for the villages at Casement and in application documents known as zoning case 2023-0001-ZC.
I have the history of change request. If you want me to read that now or after the motion?
We'll motion and then we'll read it during discussion.
Or no, they commission resolution.
Per recommendation of the Painesville Township Zoning Commission.
Oh,
So hang on a second.
yeah. The recommendation of the Painesville Township Zoning
Commission.
not
Okay.
resolution.
All right, I'll reread that. We'll start over. Nix that. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve, per recommendation of the Painesville Township Zoning Commission, the proposed amendments to the current FPUD zoning of 11 parcels, which consists of approximately 378 acres of land proposed to be developed into a mixed-density, mixed-use development as described and agreed to in the development agreement for the villages at Casement and in application documents known as zoning case 2023-0001-ZC.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Legal, if you could read the...
Yes, sir. So the history of change request of 2023-001-ZC is the Painesville Township Zoning Commission's proposed map amendment to amend the FPUD zoning of 11 parcels, more appropriately described in that document, which consists of approximately 378 acres of land to be developed into a mixed-density residential development. On December 29, 2022, the application was filed. On January 31, 2023, the Lake County Planning Commission considered the application and recommended approval of this application and rezone. On February 13, 23, the Painesville Township Zoning Commission held a public hearing considering this issue and closed it on that same date. And on that date, the Zoning Commission at its regular meeting did recommend approval of that application. On February 21, 2023, there was a meeting held by the Board of Trustees of the Painesville Township, wherein they received this application and set it for hearing by motion. On February 24 of 23, there was a legal ad published on behalf of the trustees for that public hearing. Public hearings were held on March 9, March 21, April 4, April 18, May 2, May 16, June 14, and July 18th. Wherein that hearing was held and continued to today's date. On today's date, the hearing was held and closed, and we are here for the final decision.
Okay. I have a motion in a second.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So this has been a extremely long process. We were originally approached, the trustees were originally approached at the end of 2021, in December of 2021. with this development, and actually those conversations were pre-existing from years prior. So,
I was gonna say when I was here
The last
5 years
time.
ago, it was discussed at that point too. So
Yeah.
it's been an ongoing process. I'm
But
sorry.
no, it's great. It's been an ongoing process, and then the zoning commission unanimously approved it back in February. But we've had a lot of conversations since then. Every meeting we've continued, and there's been a lot of negotiations. And with any negotiations, not everybody is happy. You don't get anything. You don't get everything you want. And I'd say in looking at the big picture, as I've said prior. If I had my way, nothing would ever be developed further in the township, and we would just have as it is, but that's not reality, right? So, in working on this property, the property owners have property rights. They're allowed to develop their property. And looking at the big thing, I think that we're making the best decision to move forward in the interest of the community. But I do want to point to our zoning head, Harley. De Leon, done an outstanding job, incredibly outstanding job from start to finish, keeping this thing organized. The communications, the discussions, and I'm sure you've had multiple discussions with each of us during the week. This has been constant back and forth. And there was one, just yesterday, I thought you probably thought we were done. And there was another conversation that had to take place. And you were jumping through the scenes to make it happen. And so appreciate the Sidley family and the Sidley group. Same. It's all been in good faith, good effort, and we appreciate it. I know when you walked in originally with the developers that you chose, I knew George prior, and so I knew you were coming in with somebody very impressive. Didn't know Loretto at that point, but it's kind of funny. We actually grew up around the corner from each other in Wickliffe. So I knew you picked some good people. It's been a pleasure working with you. And as Gabe said prior, this is a preliminary development plan only. And it could still fall apart if other aspects are not properly executed throughout. So we still have a lot of work in front of us. But back to the point of Harley. Harley, you were incredible to keep this organized and to keep it functioning. And it was extremely impressive how you handled all this. So thank you very, very much from myself, and I'm sure Josh and Gabe as well.
Yep. Okay. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Okay. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve payment to ESO Solutions in the amount of $4,022.97 for fire and EMS package for the fire department.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve payment to Kenworth of Richfield in the amount of $193,049 for a new truck for the service department.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve payment to O'Reilly Equipment in the amount of $9,709.80 for a new trailer for the service department, which will be paid out of the ARPA account.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve payment to Perry Township in the amount of $19,791.08 for the 2023 joint paving program.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I need a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the Board of Trustees to sign the development agreement for the Villages of Casement, Painesville Township, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we sign that inside before we close?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Motion to adjourn at 11:33.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.